Welcome, in front of me is a Xiaomi Mi 9, and today I will show you a couple more tweaks and tricks that I can do on this device. And jumping straight to it, we're going to begin with the one-handed mode, and it only works, I think, when you have the actual physical buttons on the screen. I don't know how to actually launch it if you have gesture navigations, but to launch it normally you would just swipe from the side, like grab the basically by button and swipe to the side. And basically the other way. You can also on the buttons while it's minimized swipe the sides, as you can see. And to access it, we're gonna go into the settings, and from here to additional settings. So additional settings right here, and from here gonna be, where is it? One-handed mode, as you can see. And you have a couple options, as in to enable it, that's number one. If you disable it, you won't be able to do it, as you can see. And also the size of the screen that will be displayed. Now I had it set to the smallest one, so if I, let's say, set to the 4.5 and enable it, it's a little bit bigger. So if you pay attention, like right now, it's up to here. Now, if I would go back to this and change it to the 3.5, you can see it's significantly smaller. Now it's just a matter of preference, how big are your hands if you want to use it in one hand, and also if it's even useful to you. Sometimes it might be handy to just have it on for like in case. But yeah, moving on, we're gonna go into something that you can actually do here, which if you don't use, for instance, something like Mi Remote or a couple other apps, they're basically removable. So you can hold it, as you can see, and you have a little trash can above here that you can just dump them out and uninstall, and boom, they're gone. So you have a couple other ones, like let's say this one can be removed, Clean can be removed, and Facebook, I'm pretty sure, can be removed. Yep. So if you don't want specific apps, you can just completely delete them from the phone. Now, mind you, not all of them. For instance, I think like security can be removed. The apps that are basically working with the device to basically improve performance and stuff like that, and settings, are not removable. And also the Google folder is completely unremovable. Even if you're not using most of those things, first you can't remove it, so that's kind of a bummer. But moving on, we're gonna go into the fingerprint animation. So if I lock the device, you can see that there is an animation to it, fairly quick because the fingerprint sensor is actually really fast. So yeah, but you still have settings for it. So if we go into, where is it, security, oh no, lock screen and password right here, and then manage fingerprints, you will need to confirm it by drawing the pattern. And from here, at the bottom, you have fingerprint animation, and you have a couple different ones. Now, there's only 4 different ones on the newer devices, I think, or maybe a little bit more higher in the specs. I think there's a couple more animations, but you can basically, it's still nice that there is any kinda. You can just tap on them and to see what kind of animations there are. And whatever you select and go back will be the animation that you will have set. So as you can see now, it's a different animation. Okay, so let's go back. And moving on, we're gonna go into the shortcuts, which is also associated with the fingerprint. And just to showcase it before I actually go into the settings, what you do is hold your finger on the fingerprint sensor, and once the device unlocks, you want to keep holding it. So as you just seen, you get this kind of thing here, and you can just basically launch it by dragging your finger over it. So yeah, that's one thing. Now you can also go to the settings of here and press and hold or quick swipe, which not really sure what's the difference. haven't really played around much with it. So okay, so basically once the device unlocks, you can just kind of swipe up, otherwise it doesn't show. So you can choose whatever you like. Okay, so moving on to the last thing that, well, once I realized actually is here, it just literally infuriated me. It rustles my jimmies to the unbelievable point. But basically, as an example, we're gonna go into the camera, take a normal photo as basically every other device can do, and you open it just to see this majestic watermark. The idea of putting it by default just baffles me, but at least you can remove it, because otherwise that would be just absurd if you couldn't. But basically when you go into the camera settings, you will see here photo watermark. Why the setting even exists is beyond me, but yeah. You can also have something that might be actually more useful, which is the timestamp, which if you actually enable this and take a photo, you'll get a timestamp like in an old cameras and stuff like that. But that actually might have some use in certain cases, but the watermark has literally no right to be there in my opinion. But yeah, that was the more of a quality feature than a trick. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to share. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.